I love journaling, but I suck at it. Well, in my head, journaling is something that I've been in a long term relationship with. I know it sounds sketchy when I put it that way, but I still remember being in boarding school and filling up notebooks after notebooks with what I did in a day, what I ate, what I felt, until, of course, people started making fun of me for it. So, journaling as a concept has been something that's been part of my life for a really long time. And this came to heal during the COVID-19 pandemic, all the more because, well, it was a point in time where we couldn't go outside, we couldn't catch up with our friends, and for me, that was one of the big ways to achieve emotional regulation. It's to meet with people and to talk about everything that we have going on in our lives. And that suddenly just went out of the window. Being the kind of person that I was really focusing on trying to write more and being on the precipice of an event that went on to shape our present and will shape our future. I put on my journalist hat, which I didn't even know that I possessed at the time because I didn't know I wanted to go into journalism. But I was like,
you know what, we're going through this. I'm gonna document every single day of this.
And that's what happened. It doesn't feel like much, but like these three are essentially documenting my day-to-day experiences from March 2020, maybe even sooner. I held on to these like a lifeline. Like every single day I had a calendar notification set up, like 11 p.m. I am gonna pull out my journal and come what may, I'm gonna start writing about how I felt the day, how it went, what did I eat, what did I think, XYZ. It came to a point that I actually started posting journal entries that I would draft on my laptop rather than in the notebook and started posting them on my blog, which, yes, I have a blog. It's still up there if you want to go look at it, but like I haven't written anything in 2 years. But I really wanted that aspect of connecting with people and hearing what they think about stuff, but also most importantly, I wanted a space to think and express freely, and I felt like writing a blog post on the internet gave me that. Since then, crickets.
Because fundamentally, I suck at journaling.
I still do have a paper journal, like I still love writing when I get the time, and I am one of those people who will never be able to give up writing in a notebook because just putting pen on paper is a feeling that cannot be replicated. But I haven't written a journal entry in a month. And that's if I'm being generous to myself. The point I wanted to highlight was that after being so intense and being so on it with journaling and writing, I felt like I could not keep up with the schedule that I had so rigorously put in place, so that when my memory doesn't serve me as well anymore, because in general I'm kind of a forgetful person, this would help and I would be able to say like, oh yeah, that happened and I actually lived through that. Like in my head, I was like, every time I open this book and I pick out a particular day, I should be able to experience that day. Like the point in my head, the utility of writing in a journal was I will be able to recount these experiences. I will be able to relive these experiences. But because of that degree of precision and exactitude that I expected from myself, I don't think that the act or the process of journaling was appealing anymore. I felt like if I don't have the headspace to perfectly catalog any single day that I experience, it's not worth it to journal. Which meant that obviously these gaps, these month-long gaps of not journaling would emerge. I would feel worse and worse about the fact that I haven't journaled, even though I know that journaling objectively helps me regulate my emotions, helps me get a load off my chest if I'm not necessarily feeling like, talking about it with someone. All of that to say, I want to start journaling again, but not in the way that I used to see it before. But I want to use the tool on my own terms and just kind of reclaim it for a post lockdown version of me. So that's the point of this vlog. I'm gonna write a journal entry and that's what I'm gonna do. Like, that is the point of this. Let's get on with it then. I would like to take a moment to apologize for this appalling video quality because the original file that I had for this beautiful time lapse that you see got corrupted. So I couldn't use it or I couldn't recover it, and I had already deleted the original file from my camera. So that was fun. This was like highly sped up, and like it actually took me quite some time to just sit down and reflect on my thoughts. And the first thing I actually ended up doing was kind of doing a life update. It's almost like I was writing a script to do a life update vlog and was like, hey, so here's what happened. Newsflash, like I got the right to work again. It was more of the thing that I actually wanted to avoid while journaling. By the time I kind of got to the middle section over here, I had finally snapped out of it, and I was asking myself to be like, yo, this is not the point of it. Reflect on what you've been feeling. Like, it's been a rough period for you, so maybe take the time to think about that. I guess this journal entry is also kind of an outlier because I don't usually write journal entries that are this long. Like, mine are usually 1 page, 2 page max journal entries. Like, I don't have the patience mostly to write such long journal entries, but this one went well into 3 pages, and I think it was just indicative of how much I wanted to reflect on the time that has passed. Well, that took longer than expected, and I actually wanted to get this part of the video done while it was still bright outside, but it's Europe. It's gotta be bright outside for a really, 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 really tiny sliver of time. So it took a bit longer than expected, but here we are. I actually had to look back at the footage that you have just seen to realize that it was approximately 20 minutes that I spent journaling, even though it felt like maybe 5-10. In terms of reflections as to what I take away from journaling, I have come to a kind of realization. I think I was kind of hitting the nail on the head before I journaled in saying that a lot of the times I get caught up on slight details that are happening. They're part of my life, but as a result, I can easily use them to kind of cop out on the really deep, introspective, emotional reflection aspect of journaling. That's not great. If journaling is not enabling me to do that, then it kind of defeats its purpose. Like, yes, I can look at a day in my life on XYZ day. I can also look through my camera roll, or maybe look back at my vlogs or see a reel that I edited to revisit said day. I don't know, it just got me thinking about the intention that I have when it comes to journaling is to kind of help myself reflect on the emotions that I'm feeling, the things that I'm experiencing on a day-to-day basis. One key goal that I have in this front is to focus more on the emotions rather than the mundane. It's not really mundane, but it still takes up a big part of my mental energy to kind of focus on, hey, this is what I ate, this is who I saw, this is what we did. There are other ways to capture that. So it would be better if I kind of kept journaling sacred in that sense and focus on reflecting on how I felt emotionally rather than giving an in-depth review of Thor Love and Thunder, which I actually did. Another key thing that I would like to adopt is kind of escaping this guilt aspect from it. I tend to shy away from writing entries in my journal reflecting on myself in my diary because I already feel guilty that I haven't done it in the past month. And then I'm like, if I haven't done it in a month, like it's not really going to be effective, so I might as well not do it, right? And then this cycle keeps on going and going and going until the point that I achieve peak guilt, and then it just becomes something that is like I have to write an entry in my journal, otherwise I'm just gonna feel horrible the entire day. So I'm gonna try to kind of remove this guilty feeling associated with it and just focus on what it is. I am doing this for myself, like it's not an exam that I have to pass. So if I'm not feeling up to it, I should not force myself to go out there and do it, and as a result I should also not grade myself or berate myself if I don't get around to doing it. Thirdly, I also think stationery matters in the sense that what you write on will make an impact on how often you want to write or not write. Like for instance, when I was using this thick boy, which has this insane ring binder situation, and now that I think about it, this guy kind of looks like Donald Trump, but let's not talk about that. But point being, like the paper, the aspect of it, it is more to a planner, but it's not really like the most conducive. Like when I would get here, like my hand would start hurting. So I think as a result, you can see like this one is quite empty because it just hurt to, like it physically hurt to write on this. So if you're not completely satisfied with the material that you have, you're not going to be inclined to journal. I have this notebook which I got from India. It's on handmade paper. It writes nicely, and well, it's more so the emotional attachment I have with it because the first entry I made was in April 2023, almost 2 years ago. I've been holding on to this one for a long time, so I like writing in it. And in terms of the pen, this is a beak. It has 4 colors. As you can see, I have used it a lot because it is really good. I use it for everything. I use it for work. I use it to write in my journal. I never have to go hunting for a blue or a black pen because I have both of them in this. And I find it really comfortable to write with, and also I am not worried about kind of manhandling it because it is meant to be sturdy and it's also pretty affordable. So like if I lose it, it's not going to be the end of the world. I have emotional value attached to this because my mom gave it to me. It's a good solid sturdy pen, so I feel comfortable using these, and that's how I do it. But the tools that you use to pursue this sort of emotional reflection will dictate how much you get around to doing it or not. That's not to say that journaling is only meant to be this one way of emotional reflection. It can be whatever you want it to be. Maybe your journal is just like thinking of wacky food recipes, or jotting down your poems, or doing sketches, or actually documenting every single minutiae of your daily life. That is up to you to decide, and whatever avenue it is or ends up being, you still need to be equipped with the right tools to kind of approach it head on. That is my final key takeaway from this experience. Let's hope I don't have to film another vlog to get myself to journal. But again, if you guys are interested in like kind of journaling along with me, or maybe this is something that gets you to talk about that, it was fun. It was an introspective experience, so I would love to do this again. With that being said, we are here at the end of this video. If you've made it so far, thank you so much for watching, and here's a little special treat. It is Phryge saying goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. If you want, you can like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to keep up to date with the latest videos. And if you have any ideas for what video you would like to watch next, leave some comments below. And if you think your friends will also like this content, share it with them and ask them to subscribe. Please subscribe. Yeah, it was her words, not mine. So, anyways, yeah, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.